Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachak. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another series of quick and important information being brought to you by the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Droughts, cloud seeding, and the coming water wars. And this is such a major update because right now a water crisis is growing, and it's not just in one country. As far as I know, it's in three different countries. And water is a very, very essential element when it comes to replenishing the body, considering the fact that our bodies are made up of mostly water. So, there's a major water crisis going on right now. Okay, and if we scroll down here, what do we see? Okay, it says the problem. Droughts everywhere. And it's not just in one area in these different countries. It's in many different areas in these different countries. Okay, look at this right here. This used to be a river. You can tell because there's boats right there. You can tell because of the dry, cracked grounds. You see? You look at the UK, this damn near look like a wasteland. Okay? You look at the United States, this looks like a wasteland. There used to be streams of water right here. Yeah, there used to be streams of water right here. Okay? And droughts leads to a shortage of vineyards. A drought leads to a shortage of vineyards. Vineyards of grapes, vineyards of potatoes, vineyards of corn, vineyards of different plants like kale, fruits, vegetables like tomatoes, onions, peppers, you name it. A drought leads to a shortage of vineyards. So, if we come over here to the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, verse 1, it says, "Behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty." Right. And you can see how the Lord is making the earth empty. Okay? These countries are being emptied of their rivers, their lakes, their ponds. Okay? And maketh it waste. Yeah. When a river of water dries up, you know what it starts to look like? A wasteland. Okay? It starts to look like a wasteland. Okay, just look at the UK. Looks like an utter wasteland. And you know where this comes from? A lack of rain. Okay? Who's responsible for the lack of rain? Well, real quick, let's go to Google. I think that's in Jeremiah the 5th chapter. Okay? Let's figure out who gives us rain. Neither say they, let us hear the Lord that giveth rain. KJV, find it for me. That is Jeremiah the 5th chapter. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 5 verse 24. It says, "Neither say they in their heart," talking about the Israelites, "neither do the Israelites say in their heart, let us now fear the Lord our power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, our God. that giveth rain. So the Lord is the one who gives rain. So if there's a drought, that's because it's coming from a lack of rain. And that lack of rain comes from the Lord holding the clouds back from forming into the sky in order to give rain. And what do we see up here? We see the countries doing something called cloud seeding. And cloud seeding is some kind of technique where they spray particular chemicals or gases in the air that would hurt that would cause the atmosphere to create clouds so it could rain. But guess what? If the Lord do not want it to rain, it don't matter how many attempts you try at cloud seeding, you're not going to get any rain. Okay? If the Lord don't want you to have rain, you're not going to get rain, okay? Rain comes from the Heavenly Father. Okay, it says both the former and the latter in his season. Okay? Because inevitably it's always bound to rain. Okay, it says he, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, reserveth unto us the appointed weeks of the harvest. So it says the Lord is the one who giveth rain. So if there's a drought, that's because the Lord is withholding rain from particular areas. Now let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, and back in 1. Okay? So now we know who giveth rain. It's Yahweh through his son Yahweh Shai. Behold, Yahweh maketh the earth empty, and maketh it waste, and turneth it upside down, and scattereth abroad the inhabitants thereof. So the Lord maketh the earth empty, and he maketh it waste. Okay, looking like a wasteland. And you got 3 different examples down here of pictures to show you of what the Lord is talking about. Okay, Isaiah 24 and 2, it says, and it shall be as with the people, so with the priests, as with the servant, so with his master, with the maid, so with her mistress, as with the buyer, so with the seller, as with the lender, so with the borrower, as the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. Now let's go to verse 3. It says, the land shall be utterly emptied. Well, even a forest or a jungle or a Amazon jungle seems empty when there's no river or a lake flowing through it. Okay? It says, and utterly spoiled, for the Lord hath spoken his word. Now let's go to verse 4. Okay? The earth mourneth and fadeth away. And you know what's fading away from the earth? Water. Okay? It says the world languish, which the word languish is another word for mourning, or to weep, to cry, and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish, right? The Chinese people, which are the Moabites, the United Kingdom people, which are predominantly inhabited by Edomites, and you so-called white Americans, which are the biblical Edomites. Okay, you're all haughty, but real soon you're going to be languishing over the lack of water. You're going to be languishing when you have to spend almost $100 per month on water alone, just to take a shower, just so you can have water to bake certain foods, so you can have water to drink, so you can have water to put in your toilet, just so you can flush your toilet after using it. Okay, Isaiah 24 verse 5. It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Which inhabitants? Job chapter 9 verse 24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. When it says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, what does that mean? It means the wicked has control over the whole earth. Who has control over the whole earth? These different so-called elite families. They call themselves the global elitists, but they're really so-called global elites. Okay, the word elite is another word for king, and they're not kings. Okay, they're peasants. As a matter of fact, they used to be known as the Bower family. The word Bower means peasant. But anyways, they're peasants with a godlike complex. Well, how be it? But anyways, the so-called elite. That's why I say so-called elites, because I don't acknowledge them as the king, or I do not acknowledge them as kings. Okay, Yahweh is a true elite. Yahweh is a true elite. Okay, those are your true elites right there. Okay, King David is a true elite. So again, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. So the earth is defiled because of the wicked being in rulership. And you know what else is causing these droughts? Fracking. Believe it or not, fracking is also causing these droughts. Because when you do your research on fracking, you'll find out that fracking requires billions of gallons of water to be pumped into the earth in order to cause the oil below the earth to rise up to the surface of the earth. So that way then the men could extract the oil out of the earth. After the use of that water, the water becomes contaminated and unable to drink. And you know where they're getting a lot of this water from in order to frack? They're getting them from these rivers. They're getting them from these lakes. They're getting them from these different water streams, from these big ponds. And it's all coming from fracking. A lot of these power plants, nuclear plants, chemical plants, a lot of these different factories and corporations requires water. So the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, right? The scriptures speak about a land Sabbath. Okay? Every 7 years, you're supposed to let the land rest. But before that 7-year period, you plant your vineyards. You cultivate the land by taking gardening tools and soil. You doing your soiling. You're smoothing out the soil so when you put the seeds in, they can be cultivated under the soil. You're digging, you're plowing. But then, when the 7th year come, you're supposed to let the land rest. 6 years you do all your planting, your plowing, your cultivating of the land, but on the 7th year you let the land rest. Y'all don't even keep the land Sabbath. That's also how the earth is also defiled. The earth cannot catch a break. As if not keeping the land Sabbath was bad enough, you're drilling into the earth. You got factories constantly extracting nutrients and minerals and water from the earth just to operate. So the earth is languishing right now because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. Okay? And that covenant really belongs to the Israelites. Okay? We broke that covenant. And when I say the Israelites, I speak of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians. Okay? Isaiah 24:6. It says, therefore have the curse devoured the earth. So the curse is devouring the earth. And here's some examples of that. Okay, a drought is not something normal. A drought, that's a curse. Okay? A drought is a curse. And it is a curse that is devouring the earth. Because these so-called elites have transgressed the laws and changed the ordinances. Okay? And the scriptures tell you in the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter, that these devils shall think to change times and laws. As a matter of fact, no, I don't need to get it. Okay? Therefore, the inhabitants of the earth are burned and few are left. Okay? So the curse is devouring the earth. Okay? Furthermore, if we come over here to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 5, it says this. Okay? Behold, saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will bring plagues upon the world. Let's see what some of those plagues are. The sword, famine, death, and destruction. So famine is coming upon the world. And so far we know of 3 countries that are going through a famine of water. With that, I'm going to say shalom. Is on to the next one.